President Alexander STUBB, I want to put it to you because in this next clip we're about to play, here you are speaking for the people of Ukraine. You are advocating, showing your solidarity and support, unwavering support for the people of Ukraine. You've done it in the private, financially, supporting them financially to make sure they can stand a chance against the might of Russia. And you've done it in the public, speaking out, advocating, making press statements as this one we're about to play. If you can speak for the people of Ukraine, why is it a problem for Simon Ekpa to speak for his own people? You are speaking for Ukraine, for their freedom from the hands of Russia. Why is it a crime that Simon Ekpa is speaking? Or why is it a crime when he speaks for his own people? That's the conundrum I find myself. It is hard for me to understand. I am baffled. I am confused that Finland of all countries will do that. President Alexander STUBB, I want to remind you what you said about Ukraine in this clip. And I want you to know that everything you have wished for the people of Ukraine, so does Prime Minister Simon Ekpa wish for the people of Biafra. Listen to what you said about Ukraine. Then let's come back and have a wrap up. Listen.
Finland's winter war lasted 105 days. Your war has lasted 10 times longer. We understand what you're going through. We will support you for as long as it takes. We support you because it is morally right. We support you because you're fighting for your independence. But we also support you because you're fighting for Europe's security. We support you because you're fighting for your independence. But we also support you because you're fighting for Europe's security.
Those are your words, President Alexander STUBB.
Finland's winter war lasted 105 days.
Finland's winter war, according to you, lasted for 105 days. The winter war against Russia. When your backs was on the ground, when there was no more room for dialogue, when the chips are down, you had no other option to defend yourself against the might of Russia. That's what we, the people of Biafra, are doing now. And your war lasted for 105 days. We've been waging this war ever since 1966, not even 1967. Because the pogrom, the killing, the pillaging of the people of Biafra started way back since 1966. When the military in Nigeria, they committed a coup, they carried out a coup, and somehow Britain cajoled those in the north to come with a spin of the narrative, and somehow they spin the news to say it was an Igbo coup. So since 1966 up to the present year, the Biafran war has not ended. We are still fighting. They've taken over our land, our resource. They've divided us into different segments. And suddenly, they now address us as a dot in a circle. They call us a southeastern state, even though they know where they named as southeastern states is and was the heartbeat of Biafra. This is what we're going through in Nigeria. Alexander STUBB, in your speech, you were encouraging Ukraine to keep on fighting. You said the war of Ukraine has gone much longer than the winter wars of Finland against Russia. Let's continue.
Your war has lasted 10 times longer.
Okay.
We understand what you're going through. We will support you for as long as it takes.
You understand what the people of Ukraine are going through. You will support them as long as it takes. In the same vein, Simon Ekpa was there in Finland, enjoying the best of life in Finland, living in a civilized world. He became a citizen of Finland, but suddenly, he saw what his people were going through in the land of Biafra. As a sojourner in this world, that doesn't mean because you are enjoying the best of life in a foreign world, in a foreign country, you will not have to neglect your people. Even in the Bible, the story of Moses, he was the one, despite whining and dining in the house of Pharaoh, despite growing up with the best of life in the house of Pharaoh, when his people needed him most, he came to be the one to liberate his people. Same in the case of Simon Ekpa. He heard the cries of the mothers of Biafra. He heard the yearnings, the call, the clarion call of the people of Biafra. And from far away Finland, he said never again. He had to speak. He became selfless. And because of that, we the people of Biafra, we the 80 million Biafrans, we chose him as our leader, our liberator. They want to speak on our behalf. And ever since, he's been doing exactly the same thing you are doing for the people of Ukraine. He has said his people must be free. His people must be liberated. He shares the sentiment, the yearnings of his people that want to be free. What crime has Simon Ekpa committed? President Alexander STUBB, let this go deep, these thoughts go deep into your mind. Exactly what you are speaking for, exactly what you are asking for the people of Ukraine is what Simon Ekpa is asking for his own people. And if you ask me, who has the most right to do what they are doing, I will say it is Simon Ekpa, because he's speaking for his own people. But nobody has come to judge you. Nobody has come to question you. Nobody has invited you to somewhere, lock you up, and keep on interviewing you based on the false narrative given by Russia against you. Nobody has done that. So why are you doing it to a Finnish citizen who is the prime minister of the Biafran people? Why are you doing that to him? We are all Simon Ekpa, and Simon Ekpa is us. Whatever Simon Ekpa is doing is what we the people are doing. So if you are holding Simon Ekpa somewhere, then perhaps, I say perhaps, if you are holding Simon Ekpa somewhere, perhaps, you may have to create a prison, a holding center. Create somewhere as big enough to handle the capacity of 80 million people. Because we the Biafrans, we are as guilty as Simon Ekpa. If you say what Simon Ekpa is doing is wrong, then we the people of Biafra, we are guilty as Simon Ekpa. Because we believe in him. We are the ones that sent him on our behalf. So whatever he's doing it to represent us. He is doing it for us. We approve it and we love it. And we all share the same sentiment as Simon Ekpa. We are all yearning for freedom of the people of Biafra, the land of Biafra. So if you think what Simon Ekpa has done is wrong, then perhaps let the whole world, let the UN, the EU, NATO, and the rest of the world create a so-called holding cell as big enough to house the 80 million Biafrans, because we are all guilty. Whatever claim, case, allegation you are holding on Simon Ekpa, you best know we are all responsible. We are saying we are Simon Ekpa and Simon Ekpa is us. Whatever he is doing, we are doing it as well. But what is good for the goose is good for the gander. If it's good for you to speak for Ukraine, a foreign country, then it is okay for Simon Ekpa to speak for his own people. His own people. His own people. Listen.
We support you because it is morally right.
You support Ukraine because it is morally right. It's a moral thing to do. Likewise, Simon Ekpa, His Excellency, even though he's having the best of life in Finland, even though he's living in a developed country where the basic essential needs are met, he still supports the freedom of Biafra because that's the moral thing to do. It would be selfish of him to be having the best of life in Finland and somehow keep a blind eyes to the ill treatment his people are going through. They are living in bondage. We, the Biafrans, we are living in bondage in Nigeria. The hate is real. The hate is real. All the other tribes, the other nations, they collude against us. They hate us with a passion for no reason. So it is morally right for PM Simon Ekpa to speak for his people, to defend his people, to protect the lives, properties, to be an advocate for the people of Biafra. It is morally right. It is the right thing to do. That's why we, the Biafrans, were doing it. And we are doing it well. It is morally right to defend your people. Let's continue.
Support you because you're fighting for your independence.
There you go. Well said. Simon Ekpa is supporting his people, his nation Biafra, as they quest, they fight towards their independence, their freedom. That's all we need. We have asked Nigeria for a referendum. They refused. They killed us. We did a rally. Their police and military came and they killed us on sight. Everything we have done to speak for our independence haven't met with the barrel of the gun. What else can we do? Our only option was to seek for our freedom from abroad. Hence the then Biafra Republic government in exile. And the Biafrans from diaspora and local, we voted on the 29th of November 2024. Let's continue.
But we also support you because you're fighting for Europe's security.
There you go. You also support Ukraine because they're fighting for Europe's security. In the same vein, our Prime Minister, His Excellency, Mazi Ekpa Simon Njoku, we support him for what he's doing because he's fighting for Africa's security. As goes Biafra, so does Africa. Africa needs Biafra, as Biafra needs Africa. So that's the same thing. We're asking for peace in Africa. Hence, Biafra has to be liberated. President Alexander STUBB, when you look at the mirror, compare both sides. You are both on the good side. You are both fighting for justice. You are fighting for equality. And you are fighting for the freedom and you are doing the good thing. So why is Simon Ekpa being kept somewhere? What crime has he committed? To speak for his own people, to be an advocate for the people of Biafra. Let's take it back one more time. Listen to what you said and listen very, very well. Listen.
Support you because you're fighting for your independence. But we also support you because you're fighting for Europe's security.
There you have it. You support Ukraine because they are fighting for their independence and for Europe's security. Likewise, our Prime Minister, the man of the hour, the man of this time, the man of the people, that understand the time and what must be done, he has stood up amongst men, amongst his equal, to fight for the independence of Biafra and also for the security of Africa. Because we see what is happening all across the Sahel region. Islamization is real. What is happening in Nigeria when it comes to Islamization is real. President Alexander Stubb, look in the mirror, rethink and reconsider. All what you have said here is exactly what Simon Ekpa is doing. In fact, to an extent, one will not be mistaken if we call it a parallel universe, where you are re-echoing what Simon Ekpa is doing. But in this case, the countries are different. While you are speaking for Ukraine, Simon Ekpa, His Excellency, is speaking on behalf of his own people, his own country, Biafra. Let us take into your mind. Let that man go. Allow Simon Ekpa to go. Nigeria is the problem. Nigeria is the aggressor. Nigeria is the one embedding criminals, terrorists into their military and bringing them to the land of Biafra to Islamize us. Nigeria is the one putting police checkpoints all across the land of Biafra, as you've heard from the mothers of Biafra. If you don't trust Simon Ekpa, won't you trust the mothers of Biafra? Mothers, they've come out. You know the mantra. In the warfield, they say no women, no kids. But today, the mothers of Biafra, they have come out to speak under one voice. They are saying exactly what we've been saying. Nigerian military are the problem. They are the ones coming to kill us. They are the ones creating insecurity in the land of Biafra. Unfortunately, the so-called governors from the southeast, they've been bought over by the caliphate. They got into their proposed position through some corrupt means. Hence, their hands are tied. Their hands are tied. They cannot do more than what they are doing now. Because if they speak out, in less than 24 hours, they will be invited by the EFCC, taken to court for some fraudulent or whatever means. And before you know it, they will be ousted out of office for the next stooge that is waiting to do worse than them. Nigeria is a crime scene. Nigeria is a criminal enterprise. Lord David Cameron, the then Prime Minister of Britain, described Nigeria as being fantastically corrupt. The Prime Minister of Great Britain described Nigeria as being fantastically corrupt. Not only that, the President of America, Donald J. Trump, described Nigeria as a shithole country. A shithole country. So it beats my imagination that a country like Finland that should uphold what is right, what is just and fair, equality, respecting the rule of law, I believe Finland is a country where the law rules. The law of the land rules in Finland. I want to believe that because all my life growing up as a kid, we always see Finland and Sweden jostling around to be the number one country in the world when it comes to fairness, equality, best of life. So what is going on in this case? And worst of all, you are somebody who grew up in ranks in your political party with Simon Ekpa. You were there as a protege in your national party. Simon Ekpa was there with you. You grew up as young men. You grew into your mature age in your political party field. Same as Simon Ekpa. You were best of friends. You were colleagues in your political party. You were peers in your party. So how come all of a sudden, now that you are the Prime Minister or the President of Finland, you've suddenly forgotten who this man is? This man called Simon Ekpa, who was with you side by side, who campaigned for you, who was there with you through thick and thins. A man who has done no wrong. A man without a criminal record in Finland. Suddenly, you are pretending not to know him. You've betrayed him for a third world country. What has Nigeria promised you that Biafra cannot give to you? Think about it. Simon Ekpa hails from Finland as well. Hence, he has his heart towards Finland. So what is it that Finland can get from Nigeria that Simon Ekpa will not give to you in 100-fold? You still have the chance, the time to correct your wrongs, amend your ways. Because if you have these hopes that Nigeria will do a deal with you to give you the gas coming from the land of Biafra, then you are making the biggest mistake. Because that gas belongs to us, the people of Biafra. Right now, it may look like Nigeria has the upper hands when it comes to the deals they are doing with Europe to pipe our gas all the way to Africa, in Morocco, and from there to Spain into Europe. It may look for a while as if you're on the right course, going into partnership with Nigeria. But I assure you, soon and very soon, we the Biafrans will implement Biafra in Biafra land. And what is ours, our resources, will be controlled by the people of Biafra. So Finland, you have a very big role to play in this. We are asking you to rethink and reconsider. Don't allow Nigeria to taint your image. Don't allow Nigeria to tarnish your reputation in the world. I hope with my few words, this will get to you and make you to think about it. Think about the good things that will come to Finland when our Prime Minister is allowed to continue with his good work, when asking for no favor. All we are saying is respect the rule of law. Let the rule of law apply to a black man in Finland. Allow justice to be met on all. Justice must be blind. Justice can never be racist. Justice can never be biased. Justice believes in equity. Thank you. Thank you to the people of Biafra. Thank you to the people around the world. Listen to my voice. And I say, may God bless the United States of Biafra. Thank you.
but there is nothing the enemies can do about it. You brought Biafra that light may come into Africa. You gave us hope because we are in a continent of hopelessness. And by thy grace, Biafra shall be restored. We shall be resurrected. We shall crown our efforts with the glory by the grace of the Most High Himself. We are not strong. We do not pretend to be strong. All we do is to submit ourselves to your will, that your will may be done upon our lives. We have lost many people. We have lost so many good people. Their sacrifice will never be forgotten. We shall honor them, and for their sake, Biafra will come. Because we are wandering all over the world, hoping against every hope that things will turn around for the better. It has never turned around for the better. Instead, it is getting worse. Please do not abandon your children. You have given us a commission, and we must accomplish it in our lifetime. Our enemies are equally important because they must listen. Those who do not love the truth must listen. Those who are beholden to darkness, they must also listen. For we are here to bring light upon a very darkened continent without Biafra. Africa is nothing without Biafra. There is no difference between a black man and a wild animal in the forest. We say every shred with every ounce of conviction. I welcome each and every one of you. If you're joining us for the very first time, this is Radio Biafra. This is how we do it. We magnify the name of the Most High before we do anything. That is why we are exceptionally formidable. That is why